Oh man, I'm about to torture myself. I could be playing something way more engaging story wise and with better gameplay. Something along the lines of Metal Gear Solid 3 or Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 5, it doesn't have the best revenge story, but it has way more creative gameplay compared to The Last of Us 2. Or I could be playing something creative like Bayonetta, or I could be playing something creative like a Yakuza game, or I could even be playing something creative and more engaging story wise, like Final Fantasy IX. But instead, I'm going to be wasting my time playing The Last of Us 2. And there's mostly to make fun of the game. See, the thing is, I think The Last of Us 2, outside of those awful walking segments, has really fun combat and gameplay. It's just that the story and writing is just way worse compared to the first game. How this won Game of the Year, I just think that game journalists were either paid off or just easily impressed by the good graphics. Because The Last of Us 2 is not even as detailed as something like Metal Gear Solid 3 from the year 2004, and it definitely doesn't have a good story compared to another 2020 game, which was Yakuza Like a Dragon. But I'm just gonna be playing this. I'm about to head out to another state in a few days anyway, and yeah, I'm mostly just gonna be making fun of this game and um, you know doing videos pointing out the awful writing because people are under the perception that this is a well written story. It's crazy to me, and I think that they're factually, objectively wrong. And you might be wondering, well, why aren't you going to record using your PS5? Well, hold on, I'll show you. I can actually use good gameplay recording footage, but I want to show you why I'm not going to do that. It's because the PlayStation 5 controller sounds like total garbage when it comes to audio. Yeah, I'm speaking over the controller right now, and it sounds terrible. And I probably could invest into like a microphone or something like that, but YouTube isn't my job, and I don't really want to invest money into this channel. And I don't want to experiment with like a bunch of different microphones and headsets just to record over video game footage. I don't. When I play video games, I don't even really talk over the video game footage unless I'm doing a video. I usually just play video games quietly. That's why you don't see me doing videos on something like Final Fantasy IX. Anyway, that's why I don't bother using the freaking better footage with controller microphones. Like, it sucks. Just like this game's story. One of my biggest problems with The Last of Us 2 is that, the characters, they're not as careful or as aware compared to the first game. And the first game, everybody was all paranoid and stuff. But then in the part two, characters are just casually smoking weed and playing on PlayStation Vitas during a war zone. And Joel just drops his guard in front of random strangers with guns. Because, yeah, apparently living in a safe space for about 4 years automatically gets rid of 20 years worth of PTSD and survival experience. But, you know, there's like still zombies and shit, right? I mean, even the start of the game shows that, so there's no room to be letting your guard down. There shouldn't be, This was a logical story, but it's not. It's more of an emotional story than it is a logical one compared to the first game. Like the first game made it very apparent that in this game's universe, if you don't keep your guard up, if you let your guard down, you will be punished. That's how David's brother ended up getting, or no, that's how Henry's brother ended up getting infected. That's how Ellie's friend, what's her name, the black girl, uh, Riley. That's how Riley ended up getting infected because Ellie and Riley decided to go to a mall and expecting it to be all abandoned and stuff. But oh wait, that mall actually had zombies and shit. So that's why they ended up getting bitten because they let their guard down. But the thing is, Ellie and Riley, them getting bitten, I can kind of give a pass because they're teenagers. They were children when they got bitten, and teenagers have a habit of just doing really stupid, illogical stuff. But here in The Last of Us 2, it feels like most of the characters, if not all of them, who are adults, by the way, have the same mentality as children. And why can I not jump on this waterfall? There we go.
Man, I don't
Alright, so that's Jesse. He's probably the best new character in this game, but he ends up getting killed and having no character development. So, yeah. So, another big problem with The Last of Us 2 is that the walking and talking segments, the dialogue for these segments, they're not as good. They're not as good as compared to the first game. In the first game, the walking and talking segments, first of all, they didn't last as long, but the dialogue that Joel and Ellie had was way more entertaining and interesting to listen to compared to the dialogue that Ellie has with these new characters introduced in The Last of Us 2. Like, it's just not as engaging because they're just way too casual about everything, you know?
What?
Let me see if I got this right. You kissed Dina,
She kissed me.
which triggered Seth to call you a not so nice word.
Yep.
Then Joel decked him,
More of a push.
and then
This is a zombie apocalypse, and they're talking about some high school teenage nonsense drama. You know, it's that kind of thing that I just don't care about or want to hear in my post zombie apocalypse game. You know, at least when it comes to The Last of Us 2, because the thing about The Last of Us is that this is a more serious game. If this was like another game franchise that was less serious, then I wouldn't really mind the more casual tone. But, The Last of Us 2 has a few different worse writers compared to the first game. And, a part of modern dialogue in a lot of video games nowadays, or at least the AAA ones, is that they had to make the characters super casual and jokey when it comes to just about, everything. Like Owen, he's one of the worst characters I've ever seen in a video game. My problem with Owen when you get to Abby's story is that he acts like a complete and total man child. But you'll see what I mean when I get there. Some people say that Joel doomed humanity by...
excuse me.
Hold on, let's listen to this. Okay, alright, they're done talking. Some people say that Joel doomed humanity because, oh no, he saved Ellie, and now the Fireflies weren't able to spread a cure from one test subject, while there's millions of zombies and bandits and rapists going on. Yeah, one cure is definitely going to fix all of that. But yeah, Joel totally doomed humanity. Anyway, let's see how humanity's doing in The Last of Us 2's universe.
Hey, so we're okay. Right?
You and me? Yeah, of course.
Look at this, man.
Dina and I.
Look at this. They got like a functioning economy going on here, and there's like hundreds of people. Like this place has I've explored this place. This area has like a daycare. There's restaurants. They're also farming in the middle of winter. There's kids making snowmen over there. Like compared to the first game where there was like strict soldiers that would shoot you on sight, this is like total paradise in terms of tone.
Oh, hi.
Oh yeah, and the game really just tried to make me want to pet that dog. Why? Why should I? It doesn't really play any major role in the story. It's not like petting the dog has some sort of fantastic story arc or mini game or something. Also, the game's dialogue is way worse. So Ellie's mad at this guy named Zeth over here because he says something mean about her being gay or something like that. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about in my zombie games. Social political issues. Anyway, it just goes to show how spoiled everybody in this game really is, how spoiled and sheltered they are, that they had to make such a big deal over such small, trivial matters.
Sure.
I'm trying to say I'm sorry. Maria tells me that you and Dean are headed out.
I saw a funny comment under a certain video. I think it was from Mahler. But I saw a funny comment where Zeth was like the one that ended up winning at the end of the game because he was anti-gay, and Ellie ends up, getting dumped by her gay girlfriend, her gay lover. So Zeth is like the only winner at the end of the game.
Made you some sandwiches.
Oh, here it comes.
Okay.
Steak.
They got steak. It's a zombie apocalypse. Like, the first game had a major, point that there was a food shortage, and these people have steak.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah. Well, you be safe out there.
Yep. I appreciate that.
What you got there?
Bacon sandwiches.
Yeah. Like what nigga thought that was a good idea to write into your game?
It's fine.
Like, this is what people consider to be Game of the Year tier writing right here. Like, I swear, a lot of these gaming journalists are a bunch of tourists that have never touched a Yakuza game. So this character is Dina, Ellie's girlfriend, and she's Jewish, and you totally can't tell at all that she's a Jewish character. Because The Last of Us 2 is all about breaking stereotypes and, not generalizing people. So in order to do that, they made sure to make Dina Jewish, but to also not make her look Jewish at all. Also, the creator of this game is from Israel. So, that's nice. Also, there's a part in the game where you explore a synagogue.
Ow!
Alright, so this is the part of the game where we get introduced to Abby and some of her friends. And I don't really care. Well, yeah, I think Abby has a horrible design. She looks very out of place in this game because she's so muscular. And it wouldn't be so bad, but she's like the only muscular member of her entire group. Anyway, but really my biggest issue with Abby isn't her horrible character design. No, it's the fact that she doesn't say or really do anything interesting throughout the entire game. I mean, she kills people, but Ellie already did that way better. But, yeah, at least with Ellie's story, it was interesting to watch. With Abby's story, it's literally just copying Joel. Like, she meets a kid, and she ends up bonding with that kid, despite the fact that her personality and that kid's personality are total opposites. And, the game wants you to feel bad for Abby's friends, but the issue is that Abby's friends don't have enough screen time, likability, or character development to make them worthy of me feeling bad for them. Oh, and that's Owen over there, the worst character in the game, because Owen's a man-child and a man-slut, and I really hate him. I'm actually kind of surprised that he lasted long enough to reach adulthood in the zombie apocalypse, because he is such an irresponsible, literal man-child. They also go on, this massive revenge road trip together just to get back at one guy. Like, how many hunters and zombies did they have to kill just to get revenge on one guy? Like, was it really worth it?
What were you dreaming about?
I was dreaming about playing a better game. So Owen wants to show Abby Joel's town, but for whatever reason, he doesn't just tell her immediately. He's being all vague and ambiguous about it. He wants it to be a surprise. And this is something I noticed with some modern Sony games, where characters will be like, oh, I want to show you something, but I can't immediately tell you what it is for whatever reason.
You're wandering around out here by yourself.
This is because they're trying to surprise the player, not the actual character. And it's very annoying,
The farther south we go, the prettier it's got.
You want to keep going? Just drive us.
Now, come on.
You see, I don't like Owen because, well, there's multiple reasons why I don't like Owen. He's a cheater, but also because the way he talks is just so childish.
Keep going like this. We're going to be tired for today's trip.
It's not that far.
It's not that far.
Hey, smell okay. She seemed out of it these past few days.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
Stop being weird. You're freaking me out.
I'm not being weird.
I'm not being weird. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, talk with some fucking testosterone.
What is that?
And then later on in the game,
It's too hot.
it tries to make you feel bad for Owen because he's all crying and sniveling and stuff because, oh no, he's mad about having to kill people. And I'm like, it doesn't work for this kind of character because not only does he not have enough character development, but also because he's very annoying and insufferable.
Do we have to go back this way?
Consider it an opportunity to work on your fears.
How about I work my foot up your ass?
Abby, stop flirting.
Oh my god. This dialogue is horrendous. So then it's revealed that Owen actually got Mel pregnant. And I'm like, when did he find the time to do that? You know? Why would you impregnate someone on your revenge zombie murder road trip? Like, this game's story is just ridiculous, you know? So the dialogue with Ellie and Dina, it's not that interesting to listen to be honest.
We were just on autopilot.
How do you know? How does she know what autopilot is? You live in a timeline before. Oh, screw it. Anyway, yeah, Dina and Ellie, their chemistry, it's fine. It's just that the things they say is not that interesting to listen to.
This stuff. I don't know. Didn't feel.
You never really talked to me about Kat.
Yeah, because there isn't much to talk about.
Yow.
I got the impression that you really like her.
I don't care about her one way or the other.
Okay.
Can we just get to the fun parts already?
Oh, brother.
For example, in the first Last of Us game, I was constantly looking out for optional dialogue. Here in part 2, though, I find myself trying to avoid any optional dialogue, unless I want to make you cringe and show it off in this video. But yeah, their chemistry, Dina and Ellie, is not that interesting, you know. Like, a lot of the dialogue between Ellie and Dina is just them being horny together and making quirky millennial jokes. And I feel like, you know, if I wanted to see that, I would just go to my local college campus. And another big issue with The Last of Us 2 is that it is a very beautiful looking game, but then it has these moments that are like, oh, wow, look at how pretty the game is. Like, okay, that's nice, but I could easily just go outside or book a trip to go to an environment similar to this, you know? Like, not even the first Last of Us game was this indulgent. I'm okay with video games showing off in beautiful environments if they can implement that in the gameplay, or if the environment is like in a fantasy setting like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI. Those games have beautiful environments that aren't very realistic because those are fantasy, you know. But here, the beautiful environments in The Last of Us 2, I can just, you know, go find that stuff outside or on Google Images. Finally, okay, so we're at a fun part. We're still in tutorial land, but we now get to experience some of that awesome Last of Us 2 stealth and AI. That isn't as good as the Metal Gear Solid games, but hey, you know, this is still second place, you know. The save code puzzles in part 2 are actually a lot more clever compared to part 1. Because in part 1, all you had to do was just find a piece of paper, and that would automatically let you unlock a safe. But in The Last of Us 2, I don't really care enough about the puzzles to actually invest in them. So I'm just going to just look them up on Google. Like, if I want to play a game for puzzles, I'll just go play something like Zelda.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. It's weed.
So yeah, this is the part where Ellie and Dina find some guy's weed storage and decide to get high and have sex. You know, right after killing zombies. Like, they have sex with each other, and they're like, you know, they should be covered in, like, zombie germs and zombie blood, but whatever. We don't need logical consistency here. But man, I just really hate, you know, how nonchalant these characters are in a zombie apocalypse. Like, if I was in this situation, I would be on guard at all times, you know? Like, imagine if in the first game, if Joel and Tess ended up finding something similar to this, and then they decided to just stop and smoke some weed instead of being on guard. But yeah, whatever. It's just so dumb.
Oh, there we go. You think it's still good? Does weed go bad? Mm.
You guys want to smoke some weed while you're on guard shift. Like that's why they're out there. They're basically doing guard work and taking out zombies and trying to further their territory. And then they're like, I want to smoke some weed and have some sex, and I get that there's like a snowstorm blizzard outside, but is this really the right time? Can't you just get back to home base before doing that?
Yeah, like you're gonna get it. Okay. Yeah. Fuck it. What the fuck is wrong with you?
They're so fucking dumb.
I got it open, didn't I?
Oh man, I'm sorry. I forgot this was a zombie game for a second. Hey, remember that part in The Last of Us DLC for part 1 where Ellie and Riley were just playing around, and because they let their guard down, they ended up getting bitten and horribly traumatized? Remember when that happened? Remember when characters letting their guard down actually had severe consequences?
This better be better than a 6.
Gross. Alright, so I'm about to get to that part where Joel decides to trust Abby and follow her back to a group of strangers with guns. And, yeah, I've seen all the excuses. Oh, there was a zombie horde, so you couldn't think straight. Oh, Joel became more trusting to people because he lived in a safe town for 4 years, even though he straight up just one-shot kills a bloater in the game. But, nah, for real, though, the whole he lived in a safe area for 20 years excuse is a bunch of bullshit. Like, alright, did I say for 20 years? I meant for 4 years. Because Joel has 20 years of survival experience, so him letting his guard down so easily isn't believable at all. Especially, considering that PTSD is a thing. Like, it's just so lazy. It's just a lazy way for them to have an excuse to kill off his character and pretty much just flush the IP of The Last of Us down the toilet. I mean, The Last of Us Season 2 came out and nobody liked it. I mean, a bunch of paid off showed critics and journalists liked it, but the audience, the vast majority of people, they didn't like the show. But just because the game is dumb, or just because the show is worse, doesn't make the game any better. This game still has a lot of writing issues. Also, it's really weird how there's like a zombie horde in this game, and they never really address it ever again. Like this zombie horde was right next to the town of Jackson where Tommy and Joel live, and I know that Joel's death was shocking, but seriously, there's a bunch of fucking zombies that are on the loose.
I'll get the door. Right with me. Come on.
Also, why did Joel and Tommy just reveal their names to Abby? They didn't need to do that at all. Jesus Christ. Shave your fucking pits.
Did you hear that?
Alright, so then we got this part where Jesse just walks in on Dina and Ellie being kinky with each other, and it feels like something out of a freaking millennial sitcom.
Just stay there, okay?
Are you okay?
Just
What's
wait,
going on?
please. What? Just turn around. What are you doing?
Jesse is like the only rational character in this entire game, and he ends up getting killed off without any proper character development. But this whole segment, it feels like something I could put
You're
over
supposed to be on
like
patrol.
a laugh track
There's
over.
a blizzard out.
We're good. Thanks.
Yeah. Can I talk to you for a minute?
So yeah, we got more scenes with Abby's friends, and they're very uninteresting, and they don't really have much screen time or character development. And I'm supposed to feel bad for them.
There are solar panels on the roof.
Who are these people? How long y'all been here?
Since yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing out this way? Just passing through. You two live nearby?
Did Tommy and Joel not sense the tension in this room? Like, I feel like, especially with Tommy, I feel like this is the type of guy that would just willingly give away his social security and bank account
We
information.
do. A few hours down the hill. Y'all should come back with us. Restock before you head out.
Yeah, I know I don't really know you, but I'm gonna invite you back to my town in this zombie apocalypse. Like, why isn't like remember the first game when there were like hunters and stuff that tried to rape and kill you? What happened to the hunters? That's another thing about The Last of Us 2. It feels like the hunters just magically disappeared.
No.
Tommy, this is my brother.
Joe.
Also, like Joel already left some fireflies alive and he knew he was hated on. So why would he not go under like a fake alias, like a fake name? In fact, why are these characters using their real names at all? Like the first game made it very clear that you shouldn't trust random strangers. And I don't know, some people are like, well, Joel trusted Henry in the first game, but that was a totally different circumstance. Joel knew that Henry wasn't a hunter because he had a kid with him, and hunters usually don't keep kids, alive. And plus, Henry and Joel were in the exact same bad situation, stuck in the city. But, oh, sorry, I'm just thinking critically here. I'm just remembering how well written the first game actually is.
Felt like you heard of us or something.
What a dumbass. Alright, so leaving Ellie and Tommy alive was a very retarded decision. Why would you leave witnesses alive? You're already committing the act of murder and torture. No point in trying to play the moral high ground here. So, yeah, that's also bad writing. And another thing that's really stupid about this scene is that Ellie knew where these people came from because they had WLF patches on them, which led Ellie to, tracking them down in Washington. Why was Abby and her group wearing WLF patches? Why? You already left a witness alive who's threatening to kill you as a method of revenge. So why would you just give away your identity like that? In fact, there's even a moment in the game where Ellie, I believe on Seattle Day 1, she finds selfies that Abby and her murder group took pictures of on their adventures. Why would they leave so much evidence? Why would they leave such a big evidence trail for Ellie to track them down? Simple, because we had to have a story happen somehow, and we got to do it in the laziest, dumbest way possible. This game is just really stupid from a writing perspective. And I feel like anyone who thinks that this game is deep or brave or original, you just have the mind of a 5-year-old. And, this game isn't even original. I mean, playing as the quote unquote villain or the antagonist point of view, Nier Automata already did that. Way better, It would have been way more bold if Abby actually managed to kill off Ellie here. Like, that would have been way more bold and original if Abby killed Ellie and then took over the rest of the game. That would be something like well, no, not even Hideo Kojima would do that. But that would be totally way more brave and original. But no, let's play it safe and keep Ellie alive. So yeah, this game, it's very dumb. It's very dumb, but it is fun. I mean, not the walking segments, but the combat and stealth, it's fun. I just wish there was more of it. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of getting tired of this. I'm about to go hook up my PS3 and play Metal Gear Solid 4. Because at least with Metal Gear Solid 4, even that game has better writing than this. And it also has way more creative gameplay and better enemy variety.